Okay, hi guys. What I'm going to do in this stream is to have a look at which seats the Brexit Party may win and in which areas of the country they're strongest. This isn't strictly an astrology prediction. This is more political analytics, because I don't think you can really say for sure, unless you've looked at the charts of every single candidate, which seats would be the most likely. I see I just had a comment on my other stream about yet another right-wing ... Well, I'm sorry. I'm not making any apologies for that. The world is full of different opinions. If he doesn't like it, start his own channel or don't watch it. Watch your left-wing channels, which you obviously prefer. I just don't understand the point of that comment. Other options are available. Go and look there. And if you didn't like the prediction, well, why don't you just wait and see if it comes true? If it doesn't conform to your expectations, better luck next time. And 50s camera 50, well, whatever. That is, I'm not making a living out of this guy. I'm not ITV. Why don't you go and watch Channel 4? So first of all, let's have a look at we have some graphics here. And as you know, I'm in the 1950s, so I can't smartly show you graphics. Oh, to that commenter, you can go and watch Sargon of Akkad. He doesn't have 50s tech. He's very high tech on his videos, but I'm sure you won't like him either. So much for you in the 50s, whatever. So the party you obviously prefer wants to take us back to the 70s, i.e. the Labour Party, because the 70s in the UK, it was so great. Don't you remember? Rubbish piled on streets, ... Anyhow, I don't suppose he remembers, because he probably was only born yesterday. So let's have a look at the northeast. Now, the northeast area is one of the areas where the Brexit Party is strongest, and also where the Tory party is relatively weak, because although the Tories have made up ground in the northeast, it still isn't enough to really take on Labour. Obviously, it would have been ideal if the Tory parties had stood aside and let the Brexit Party have a full go up in the northeast, going head-to-head with Labour, because the Lib Dems aren't particular players in that area either, but we know that hasn't happened. So the one main area where the Brexit Party could win a seat is Hartlepool, where Richard Tice, who's basically the head of the Brexit Party, isn't he? Because Nigel Farage is, what is he, like the spiritual leader? I don't know. Anyway, Richard Tice is running there. That's where they have the biggest chance. So if you have a look at my graphic, as you can see there, we have the northeast up in the red, and you can see that the Tories have been improving. Labour's had a big drop. So in terms of percentage points from 2015, Labour have dropped from 55 down to 32% in polling. They've taken a massive hit. Hey, hi, Goldie Girl. Good to hear from you. Then we have the Conservatives, who were on 34% previous election, have dropped down to 26. So the Conservatives also are doing relatively worse. I think that's because of the Brexit Party, who have their highest percentage in polls in this region, which is 19%. This is according to YouGov. Lib Dems only on 15%. So in terms of that is happy hunting ground for the Brexit Party, and it's definitely where they can give Labour the biggest run for their money. Next area we're going to look at is the northwest. So that's Manchester, the Lake Districts, Blackpool, all those areas, Kendal. And in the northeast, Tories have also dropped a little bit. They were 36% in the northwest, sorry. Tories were 36%, they're down to 33% in polling. Brexit Party there on 14, so 5 points off what they are in the northeast. Labour, however, are down from a 55% polling to 30%. So Tories then 33 place 30, so they're 3 points ahead of Labour. So Tories might be able to convert some of the marginals in the northwest. However, the problem there is the Brexit Party might be splitting the vote, so we'll have to see how it goes. In terms of the Brexit Party, that's a difficult area for them to win votes, because although Labour is less popular and the Greens are eating into Labour's vote, the Lib Dems also are on 17% as well, which it could work. The Lib Dems could split the Labour vote a little bit with the Greens and help UKIP maybe squeeze in. Otherwise, the Tories could probably do quite well in that area. What do I see for Corbyn resigning, the Lib Dems forming an alliance? I don't see the Lib Dems forming an alliance with Labour. I don't think it'll come to that. Jeremy Corbyn, I think, I think the gods of the universe, or the elites or powers that be in the press, have decided that he's had his day after this. I mean, even Tony Blair came out and said, don't vote Labour. They've been wanting to get rid of him for a long time. I know John McDonnell thinks that he could take over and he's got a chance. And I'd say to John McDonnell, no, you haven't got a chance. Once Jeremy Corbyn's gone, you're gone as well. There you go. You can have a quick look at my graphics for the northwest. You can see that they've improved. The Tories have improved. Labour, you can see a big drop between the peach line and the red line. Lib Dems doing okay. So let's have a look at the Yorkshire and Humber area, which is also quite a happy hunting ground. I don't know why the colour's gone so weird now. Yorkshire and Humber is also a happy hunting ground for the Brexit Party, 14%, same as the Northwest. Now here, the Labour Party has fallen from 49% down to 29% in polling. The Tories have dropped from 41 to 34, but they're still polling ahead of Labour. So that is an area where the Tories are hoping to pick up a few seats, and I think they could be successful there. I think it's going to be hard for the Brexit Party to win too many seats in that region, although Hull, which is a key Brexit target seat, is in that region. So depending on where you are, because it's quite a big region, the Brexit Party could have a bigger chance of winning a seat. Have a look at the West Midlands. I think the West Midlands are not going to be such a great area for the Brexit Party. Very strong area, however, for the Tory party. They were polling last election at 49. They're down to 43. However, Labour are only at 23. So apart from the inner city areas in Birmingham, which are probably very, very powerfully Labour, I think that a lot of the marginals there could be won by the Tories. Brexit Party are only on 12% there in the West Midlands, which is basically Birmingham, Coventry, Worcester, Redditch, all those areas. So I think it'll be quite hard for the Brexit Party to win a seat anyway in the West Midlands. Green Party are doing fairly well at 7. They could also be eating into the Labour vote. Lib Dems, it's definitely not a key area for them. So I think the West Midlands marginals mainly going to the Tories, not too much of a happy hunting ground for our Brexit Party. Sorry, I'm relatively mentioned. No, Leon, I haven't done Wales yet. Labour are totally insane, and I'm 23. Well, yeah, it's good. Nice to know that not all young people are kind of conned by all the hoopla. Although I always find it hard to believe that young people relate to Jeremy Corbyn as a person at all. He just seems so remote. He doesn't do many interviews. I don't know if his social media is very exciting, but I find all the Labour activists are incredibly dry and boring. The women have no sense of humour. They take everything so seriously. They're not very engaging. They have no charisma. John McDonald, I see Kate Hoey said he's actually quite a nasty person underneath the veneer. That's the vibe I always got off him. I got off a very standoffish, rather unpleasant, judgmental vibe. There's no one in the Labour Party that I can feel I warm to. Whereas I do feel that people from the other parties can be a lot more engaging. I mean, even Nicola Sturgeon, I know on my channel, we're not generally big fans of Nicola and her politics, but I do think she's quite an exciting politician. I think she's got something, right? And, you know, I don't know who in the Labour Party is really ringing people's bells. Can you imagine standing in a queue to see Jeremy Corbyn at a rally? You know, he's monotonous. He's not inspiring to look at. He certainly has no personal aura about him, or he's not grandiose. I don't know. He's just there. So let's look at the east of England. Very strong Tory area. However, they're down from 55 polling points in 2017 to 45 now. It's quite a drop. Labour, however, are from 33 down to 17. So this is an area Tories can really capitalise. Lib Dems are even polling higher than Labour. This is a region where Lib Dems poll higher than Labour at 18 points, according to this YouGov survey. So, you know, it'll more in this east of England area. It's a toss-up between Tories and Lib Dems, but it's a very strong Leave Brexit area. So I think Tories will pick up a lot of seats here. Brexit Party not holding out too much hope for them in the east of England. Also includes, however, Great Yarmouth, which is a kind of Brexit area. Also includes, I'm not sure if it includes places like Ipswich and other big Brexit areas, but I think they're more likely to go Tory. In case you want to have a look at the graphic there, you can just pause and have a look. I'm looking forward to hearing about Wales. Oh, have you moved to Brecon? That's fantastic. It's a very pretty area, isn't it? Okay. Corbyn is like a zombie. There you go. You've got the word, a zombie. Lib Dems, if they didn't want to revoke everything, would be interesting. Yes, well, I think Lib Dems form a less radical. If you are kind of a Liberal Democrat in terms of not the voting, but in terms of your outlook, they're a far better option, I think, than Labour. Now we're going to look at London area. London area, the Brexit Party are not going to win any seats. Labour, I think, what's going to happen is their vote will turn out massively, and in the councils already, or the seats already held by Labour, they'll probably pile on the advantage and get even greater majorities. So I think overall Labour are going to get a lot of votes, but the votes are going to pile up on top of votes. They won't necessarily swing seats. So you can see places in London going even more red, apart from some of the constituencies I'll talk about later. In London, Labour are still off 55% down to 39%. So they will be competing with the Lib Dems, I think, in some of the London seats, who are at 19%. Tories at 29%, so they should hold on to one or two of the London seats. Brexit Party only at 6%. They really don't have a chance. But I do wonder, Labour's certainly down from 55%. So even in the London heartlands, where they would expect to do well, they've kind of had a drop in their polling. So then we got to check out the southwest. The southwest as well, that's where Anne Widdecombe is running, in Plymouth, Devonport and Sutton. Not the greatest area. It's 13%. Wales is actually the second best area for Brexit after the northeast, but southwest next to London, quite a weak area for the Brexit Party, and it's one of the strongest for the Lib Dems at 21%, and they're polling above Labour at 17%. Don't see Labour winning many seats down in the southwest. Don't see Brexit Party winning. It's going to be toss-up between Tories and Lib Dems, but I definitely think Tories have got the edge. So as far as Scotland go, I think the SNP are going to have a good night. I see success in Nicola Sturgeon's chart. I think she will take out the remaining Labour seats in Scotland, and I think the Tories will do well in some of the marginals in Scotland. Lib Dems currently polling. Tory won't get a majority, I'm afraid. Bojo's an other. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Dan, but let's wait and see, should we? And you can contact me and tell me off afterwards, or you can tell me I'm right. We'll see. As far as Bojo being an utter fraud, it boils down to the ideology. I know what the ideology of the Conservative Party is, and I know what Jeremy Corbyn's ideology is, and it's very easy for me to choose between the two. And I think for business leaders, while there's absolutely no incentive for them to vote for Jeremy Corbyn or for John McDonnell, whereas I feel that Boris, yeah, he's clownish. I don't think he's been very good in this election, in the debates. I don't think he's been very good at public speaking. But at the end of the day, I know his team behind him. There's a lot of other people in the Tory party that I trust, and I trust their general direction. So, okay, Scotland. So I think the SNP are going to have a good night. Lib Dems, I don't think are going to be doing too well. Now you can see that the SNP have increased their percentage in Scotland to 42 from 37 in 2017. The Conservatives are down from 29 to 22. Labour are down from 27 to 12. So their polling is dismal. You can see Labour can just be knocked out of Scotland. Lib Dems up from 7 to 13. Brexit Party only 6. Definitely not a good area for the Brexit Party. I'd say it's a shootout between the Tories and the SNP there, and the Tories will hold on to quite a few of their marginals. Now, I know you've been waiting. Did you see some of the polls where young people were under 40s in the research? Yeah, they liked Lib Dem policies, but Revoke is a bit incoherent with their name. Well, great. I'm glad they actually thought it through, but everything is incoherent about Labour's Brexit policy as well, apart from its Remain too. So it's definitely Remain, Labour, because even if they offer a second referendum, they're going to extend the franchise to all EU residents and under 16 and the over 16. So there's no way we're going to get a leave vote. Okay, we finally on to Wales. So as I said, Wales is a key area for the Brexit Party, where they're polling at 15%. Conservatives are down from 34 to 28. Labour is down from 49 to 29. So Conservatives and Labour neck and neck there. And Clyde Cymru is at 12%, the Greens at 3%. However, the Lib Dems have got this arrangement where they're not standing with the Greens, and they won't stand against the Greens, and they won't stand against Clyde Cymru. So they've got an arrangement. Remains to be seen if that will not help their voter turnout, because maybe some people won't really like that. There might be people who vote Clyde and who really don't want to vote Lib Dem. I'm not sure if that'll work out well for them. But it's definitely a good area in zones for the Brexit Party. I'm going to discuss some specific constituencies in Wales as I go through it. Okay, here we go. These are the constituencies where I think the Brexit Party has a good chance of winning, as I've already talked about Hartlepool in the northeast. Now, the most pro-leave area of the country is Bolsover, which forms part of the Yorkshire or Humber, east of England. It's like a Lincolnshire way. Now, they've got a Eurosceptic MP at the moment. So people might kind of stick with him. It's going to be quite hard for the Brexit Party to overturn the Labour majority there, because with a Eurosceptic MP, people might still stick with Labour on that particular seat. There's also, okay, that's got nothing to do with, if you look at Bolsover, Labour got around 24,000 versus the Conservative 18,800 in 2017. In the 2015 election, Labour got 22,000 and the Conservatives got 10,000. UKIP got 9,200. So you can see that UKIP most of the UKIP voters went over to the Conservatives, not to Labour. Labour won that because they got their vote out better. So therefore, if in Bolsover, the Tories and the Brexit Party will kind of cancel out there, and I think Labour will stay in. So even though it's a pro-Leave area, I don't think that they can win. So let's have a look at Burnley. When I looked at the figures for Burnley, it seems that there's big protest vote potential because the Lib Dems did very well there in 2015. UKIP are fairly strong. And overall, it's a big Leave area and lots of floating voters. So it could be very split. A Tory could get in or a Brexit Party member could get in Burnley. Why I say that? Because lots of floating voters there that tend to do protest votes to either UKIP or the Lib Dems. Who knows which way they might go. Okay, here's a Welsh one, Llanelli. Llanelli's very good for the Brexit Party. And also, if there's an alliance there between Clyde and the Lib Dems, I think that'll really hurt Labour. Could help the Brexit Party get in. I mean, UKIP did very well there in 2015. So that is, it probably will go Labour, but it's worth watching Llanelli. Then you've got Blaydon. Why Blaydon is good? It's in the northeast, which is the key Brexit Party area where they're polling at 19%. It's a weak area for the Tories, so they shouldn't provide too much competition. UKIP did really well there. They were the second party in 2015. It's a very good target seat. Now, I talked about Yorkshire and Humber. They're kind of polling 14, or was it 15% for the Brexit Party? Not that strong. However, Hull East was a very strong area for UKIP. They came second to Labour there in 2015. Labour's strong there, but a lot of these port towns are very pro-Brexit, so you never know. And the Tories aren't much competition for Brexit Party there, so they could steal. Back to Wales, Caerphilly. The very strong Labour area that. However, again, the Lib Dem, Green and Clyde alliance could hurt Labour because the protest vote could go there. They were also a strong area for UKIP. So there's a lot of potential in that particular seat. Depends how much campaigning they've done. Barnsley East, that's in the northwest. Not the best area, but at 14% for the Brexit Party polling. Not too bad. UKIP came second in 2015, and they even got a lot of votes in 2017 when the UKIP vote collapsed. So, look, Labour are strong there, but the Lib Dems and the Tories are quite weak. So you never know. Then we've got Hull West and Hessel, which is pretty similar to what I said about Hull East. Then there's Sheffield Southeast. UKIP there got 9,128 votes in 2015, Labour 21,439, and the Conservatives around 7,000. So in the 2017 election, Labour got 5,020. So Labour managed to pick up some of those UKIP votes, and the Conservatives as well picked up some of the UKIP votes. So therefore, people can go either way. A very big majority of Labour to overturn for the Brexit Party. It depends how people are feeling. And Sheffield, I wouldn't say is one of their strongest areas. But we could just see the Brexit Party could come in second there. Back to Wales. I'm not going to be able to say this. Is it Ynys Môn? It's YNYS and then a new word, MON. Okay. Well, in 2017, Labour only got about 14,000 votes. The Conservatives got 10,000. Clyde got 10,000. And UKIP did kind of well in 2015. So Labour don't have a massive majority there. So I'm wondering if there's an alliance again with Clyde where the Lib Dems don't stand against. Clyde could either take that one, or if the vote gets split, the Brexit Party could possibly sneak in, or the Tory Party in that seat. There's also another Welsh seat, Nice. In 2015, UKIP got the same kind of votes as the Conservatives. They got 6,000 as Clyde. Just say UKIP got 6,000, Clyde got 6,700, Labour 16, and the Conservatives got less than Clyde and UKIP. So that's an interesting seat. Labour seems way out ahead, but if Labour lose some votes to Clyde, or the Lib Dem alliance with Clyde lose some to the Conservatives, Brexit Party could sneak through. It'll be an interesting one that could go to maybe the Tories, maybe to Labour, maybe Labour hold, or maybe, who knows, Brexit Party. Next one is back to the northeast, strong area, as you know, and that's Houghton and Sunderland South. And in that particular party, UKIP did very well. They came second with 8.2 thousand votes to Labour's 21.2 thousand. And the Tories picked up some of those to improve. The Tories are way behind in the seat. They're never going to win the seat. Labour is getting about 24.6 thousand. It's a big ask for the Brexit Party to turn that one over. They need a lot more votes. But as you can see, there's a fair amount of support for Labour, I mean, if all those Conservative voters vote tactically, well, they won't all do it, but I mean, if they kind of vote tactically, you never know what could happen in that particular seat. Then we've got Washington and Sunderland West. There, UKIP did better than the Conservatives with 7.3 thousand, Conservatives 7,000 in 2015. But again, Labour in most of these northeast seats have about 24,000 votes behind them going into it. It's a lot to overturn that. Even if you add the Conservative and previous UKIP votes together, you wouldn't get that. You need a lot of defections over to the Brexit Party. However, here the Conservatives are fairly weak opposition. You never know. If they have a really good ground campaign, I'm not sure what could happen in some of these seats in the northeast. You never know. UKIP was strong there. Although when we had in 2015, when we had the debates, I felt there was more visibility for all parties on an equal playing field because of the way they did the debates. I'm not sure this time how much news coverage UKIP's Brexit Party is really getting. There's also Bolton Southeast. Again, they had a very big UKIP vote, 9.6 thousand in 2015, where the Conservatives had only 8.2. So it's a weak area for the Conservatives, potentially strong area it was for UKIP. If the Brexit Party manages to sway more Labour voters over, that one could be tight. And I don't think the Conservatives are going to jeopardise the position. Of course, in any of these seats, there's a possibility that Tories and UKIP, it's going to split the vote. There's also South Shields. Again, the same story. UKIP was quite strong, but at the moment, Labour in 2017 got 25,000 votes, Conservatives 10,000. I mean, there's a 15,000 majority to overturn. The majorities are pretty huge in the northeast. So in order to overturn them, it's quite difficult for the Brexit Party to do. It would really need Brexiteers to come out in force and people to be voting on a Brexit basis. Back to Wales, we've got Torfaen. That's also going to be a sort of shootout between Labour, Conservatives not doing too badly there. It was a strong UKIP vote. There again, the Brexit Party and the Conservatives are basically competing for the same votes, whereas the Labour votes are unaffected by UKIP votes. So while it's quite a good area and the Brexit Party should perform okay, I don't think it's enough for them to take it. There's Durham North as well, which was fairly strong, but the Tories are also quite strong there. Brexit Party there can take votes away from both the Conservatives and Labour, but they need to take a lot more away from Labour than I think they've got the capability of doing. There's also Nottingham North, which is a part the Brexit Party might come in, do quite well there, but I don't think it's also a very big majority to overturn. Another constituency in Wales, Ilwyn, ISLWYN. UKIP came in second place in 2015, so there's obviously a strong protest vote and a Brexit feeling there. Clyde is also a contender, but the Tories are not. So if the Clyde Lib Dem alliance hurts Labour, you never know what can happen. But bearing in mind, like I said, for the first past the post, it's very easy, very difficult for the Brexit Party to be able to overturn a lot of these. But the best chance they've got is in Wales, is in the northeast. But you never know, in Yorkshire and Humber, there are one or two where they might have a chance as well. And we are going to be watching out to see how Anne Widdecombe does. The southwest is a weak area in general for the Brexit Party. Most of those seats will be fought between Lib Dems, and the Tories should cling on to a few. But I believe it must be it's a Labour hold, Plymouth, Sutton and Devonport, where she's running. So you never know what the feeling is there. But again, it's a very big majority to overturn, and Labour are particularly good at getting their vote out. They did it terrifically in 2017. If all those voters that came out for Labour are still as motivated, it's going to be very hard to overturn big Labour majorities, which makes it hard because the Brexit Party are mainly going up in seats where they've got to overturn a massive Labour majority, like in the northeast, northwest. It's far easier for the Tories to win seats because there are an awful lot of Tories, of marginals that they can attack. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. And I want to win the lottery, mate. Well, let's wait and see. Absolute MMA. I just need an answer. Sorry, what was your question? Were you single in 2016 and 2016? Still single, but I'm not looking. Bro, I'm a young buck anyway. Okay. She's not here to talk about her personal life. Oh, well, I don't have any reservations. Open book. No, I was single. So anyway, yeah, Lisa has said they will get a slim majority. I think they're going to get fairly good majority, the Tories. Astrologically speaking, the synergies in this election are synergistic to times when they got a very big majority. Although I kind of find it hard to see that, but I know that every time before an election, Labour are always extremely bullish. They always think they're going to win it. They always think they're going to do well. They always kind of overestimate. If you look back on how the council elections went in May, Labour weren't cutting ice at all. They lost an awful lot of seats, even when you'd expect them to do really well, bearing in mind we've had quite a few years now of a Tory government. And I remember back in the 2014 council elections, Labour just didn't make the gains they needed to make to show that they had the momentum to win an election in 2015. And that played out because David Cameron got a majority. And I think where Labour have made a mistake, they've got so many policies. Maybe some of them are popular. Maybe a lot of them are popular. Maybe a lot of them are rubbish. But there's so many of them that it's just lost in a muddle. And he's adding more day by day. I mean, he's just saying whatever people want to hear. As I say, it's a buffet. Eat as much as you like. You name it, he's got it. Boris has been very clear, and I think Jo Swinson has been very clear. I thought beforehand, before looking at these polls, I thought the Lib Dems had a chance to do really well. Now I've gone off that theory. I think Jo will do okay, because I think their message at least is very, very clear. And I think a lot of people in the southwest and maybe the southeast and some London seats will vote Lib Dem. Their message is clear, and that's something. And Boris's message is clear. Vote me, you get Brexit. The Brexit Party's message is also very, very clear. Labour's message is muddled. It's all over the place. And I think that is going to be the undoing. Okay, we're going to stop this one and chat about the Tories.